Welcome back, guys. I'm Cody, the Rad Retro Dad, and today I've got another pickups video for you, and this is a good one, so stay tuned.
Come on, let's all go to the Rad Retro Show. Master of the Retroverse, he's the Rad Retro Dad. He's the Rad Retro Dad.
All right, guys, I got another cool pickups video for you this week, and most of this stuff came to me very recently. Some of this stuff I've had for a little while, just haven't been able to show. I like to throw in a couple items like that into these just to kind of mix it up. But I've got some cool stuff, and let's jump into this stack here. And I'm going to start out first with this hat here. This is a Rockstar hat, and I found this at a yard sale. And if you notice right here on the side, it's signed by Jason Ellis. And if you don't know who Jason Ellis is, he's a professional vert skateboarder from back in the day, like Tony Hawk era. Matter of fact, him and Tony Hawk have a podcast that they do together called Hawk versus Wolf. So anyways, I thought this was super cool to find. Just a cool Rockstar hat at a yard sale signed by Jason Ellis. And you can see it's kind of faded, but he does like a skateboard line underneath Ellis. And, you know, it's very, very distinct autograph. Anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. All right. Here we have a handheld Star Wars Clone Wars video game system. And I don't usually pick these up, but I just thought this one was super unique. And I found it at a thrift store. You hold it like this, and then you got your triggers, you got your different buttons here, but it's motion controlled, which I thought was cool. And we played it, and it's actually pretty good. They do kind of like a 3D effect, but it's definitely 2D, probably like Super Nintendo-esque graphics on this thing, but it was super fun. And they did a lot in here with the motion control. So this was super cool. And I don't know if it's worth anything or what, but we had a blast playing it. And you know, I don't usually pick these up, but I thought this one looked pretty unique, so I grabbed it. And it was only like $1, so that was a pretty cool find, and it works great. Okay, we're gonna go right here. I got another Nintendo system here, and just a regular NES. It's a little faded on the label, and I did some cleaning up. I got this from a friend. Julie, if you're watching, thank you. And it was dusty. I had to clean off the dust and stuff, but look how good it cleaned up. Pretty nice. There's a couple dings here and there, and I tested it. It works. And so there we go. Another system. Even the push down will lock. Which is kind of a problem with these older systems, is that lock system that you push down is broken. But I do have a fix with a staple. Actually, it's just a little pin in there, and you can replace it with a staple. I fixed a few of these over the years with just a standard office staple. Works really good. So anyways, got another system right there. This one will probably I'll probably put it up for sale on Facebook locally. A lot of people like to get these for like Christmas time and experience the classics the way they were meant to be played. All right, and along with that was a Link's Adventure. Zelda II was inside of it, and this is a super cool game. I think it gets overlooked in the Zelda series a little bit. But I'll tell you right now, I played this one way more than I played the Adventures of Zelda on the NES. I thought this was a fantastic game, and it was a bit different. It was kind of its own thing. It was an RPG, an action RPG, but when you kind of walked around a map, and then the enemies would appear as like just little enemies that would pop in and out. And if you got hit by one, then you would go into this 2D platform segment where you kind of like just stab, kind of like, I don't know, like Ghosts and Goblins or something. I don't know. It wasn't quite to that extent, but it was kind of like had a platforming side to it. And when you go to dungeons, they were all 2D side scrolling platforming, which is pretty cool. And like you could like visit a city, like the towns and stuff. And when you go to like the inn or go to a shop, and it was all 2D platforming. And I don't know if I'm saying that right. If I'm saying that wrong, let me know. But this was a super cool game. We played this to death. And there was a segment in there where you had to battle like a shadow version of yourself that was super hard. This is a fantastic game. It's the only game in of all the Zelda games that was actually labeled as Link instead of Zelda. I mean, it still has Zelda 2 up there, but all the other games are named Zelda and then something else, like Zelda: A Link to the Past or Zelda: Link's Awakening, but none of them were just named Link. So this one is kind of unique in that sense, and it was different than all the others. So great find. This is I didn't have a copy of this. This is going into my personal collection. So great find. And I got a controller with it as well. That actually came from a different place, but I did have an extra controller to go with it. All right. Let's go over this stack here. I found this stack at a yard sale, and I think I paid like 50 cents a game, and Zelda Twilight Princess was in there. And this is one of my favorite Zelda games. It's probably my favorite Zelda game of all the older systems. I know it's a Wii, it's not really that old, but this game was super cool. And this was the very first game that I got and played for the Nintendo Wii. I know the Nintendo Wii came with Wii Sports, but we popped this one in first and played it. This is a fantastic Zelda game. If you've never played it, you should pick it up. And I actually think that the GameCube version of this game is better because I didn't really dig the motion controls on it. You get a little tired playing it. But if you get the GameCube version of it, they're all it's more of a standard control system. But either way, this is a great Zelda game. Also got Spider-Man: Edge of Time, and this was cool. This one allowed you to play as Spider-Man in a different era as well. It had Spider-Man 2099. I don't know if you remember him from the comic books, but fantastic game. This is a really cool Spider-Man game, and it was better than most of the Spider-Man games at the time. Conduit 2. This is a really cool game too. This was like the Wii's Halo, and Conduit 1, the first Conduit game, was, I think, if I remember right, it was like one of the very first, if not the first person shooter on the Wii that was like actually a serious game. These are really cool games, and like I said, they kind of have a Halo vibe to them. So this is a great find too. Then I got The Last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is based on the movie game. I've never played it. I imagine it plays just about as well as any movie game back in that time. If not, if you guys play it and you like it, you let me know in the comments. This is a really cool arcade racer, Speed Racer. I mean, it's just Speed Racer, the video game. And this was another game that I had on my Wii. And it allowed you to do like these crazy, like, I think they called it like car acrobatics or car gymnastics or something like that. Something like that they call it. And you race on these really crazy twisted tracks and very futuristic. But I wasn't a real fan of the Speed Racer anime, but this game is super cool. And I think it actually came out when the movie came out. And if you haven't seen the live action version of Speed Racer, it was actually really good. All right. Sonic Colors. Arguably one of the best Sonic games out there. This is a really cool game. And it kind of like meshed 2D style Sonic with the new 3D style. But this was a really cool game, very colorful game. You're like, it's more futuristic and like neon colors. It's really cool. It's like if Tron and Sonic mashed together, that's what you'd get. Great game. And probably my favorite Sonic game. All right, this one didn't have a label, but it's Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. And again, this is a really cool action RPG. It was kind of like if Marvel Comics and the Diablo games, they meshed together to make this really cool action RPG game. And it was great. And the other really cool ones from the Marvel universe was the X-Men Legend games. Fantastic action RPG games. All right. Transformers the game. I actually had this and it's okay. It like scratches the Transformer itch, but I'll tell you, the Cybertron series, or the two Cybertron games that came out, I can't remember exactly what they are. They're Transformers Cybertron, and then there's another one. But they came out on the Xbox 360, and they're if you want some Transformer games that still hold up today, play those. But this one was kind of cool. It's based on the movie. And whenever you get a game back in the day that was based on a movie, you kind of got to expect it to be kind of like half-baked. I don't think that's completely true nowadays. I've played some newer movie-based games that are actually pretty cool. And then the last in this stack was an Xbox 360 game, and it's Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 2. And I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a fighting style game. People love these Dragon Ball games that came out in about this time. Anyways, it's probably a really cool game, but I haven't played it. All right. Now I got something a bit unique. And I found this at a thrift store, and this is a Wii Bowling Ball Controller. And I thought this was just crazy. I'll pull it out of the box and show you. It's like a full-size bowling ball that you use with Wii Bowling and other bowling games. You put your fingers in there and then and it has all the buttons and everything. You open it up, and just like any other Nintendo Wii controller attachment, you got to put your controller inside of it, and then you clip it back together. And now we gave this a test run, and you put your hand through here, you slide this up, and the idea is that you actually kind of like swing back and let go, and your wrist catches it. I think it's a bit heavy for that, and it kind of pulls on your wrist a little bit, but it did give me a more genuine bowling experience. I guess, like, it's definitely unique. But I mean, you had all of your controls right there, and then it had the B button right here. And the B button is important in the bowling games. You have to hold it and then swing and let go, and that will trigger your ball to be released. If you keep holding it, then your character just sits there and swings. So it gives you kind of a more natural bowling experience where you just kind of bowl and let go, and you just automatically let go of that button. And it's positioned in a way that it's kind of natural. You're already putting pressure down right there with your finger. So it worked surprisingly well. And I had never seen this before. I didn't even know it existed. And so I thought that was really cool. I got it at a thrift store for like $8, I think. I had to buy it. And it still had the box. Again, this is probably something I haven't decided if this is going in my collection or not. I can't, when you start collecting video games, you notice that you can't collect every single thing. And the way that I like to collect is I kind of like to just collect stuff that means something to me or is a theme. So, for example, I've been collecting Mario games, and I've got most of the old school Mario games all the way up to the Switch ones. And it's just something that, I don't have all the handheld ones, but I'm working on that. I just added a couple more to my collection, and they'll be in the next pickups video. But I like to collect only things that really mean something to me. So I'm not my video game collection kind of looks small, but it actually means a lot to me because it's games that I actually played when I was a kid, or it's just games that I found as an adult that I really liked. So that's how I collect video games. And so let me know in the comments, how do you guys collect? Do you try to get like full sets of games, or do you have like a purpose in mind and when you're collecting for not even just video games but anything? I mean, I also collect action figures and comic books and whatnot. So let me know, how do you guys collect? What's the method to your madness? All right, now let's get to what I would consider the coolest thing that I've got, and I actually picked this up today from a friend, and that is a black original Atari 2600. And as you can tell, this thing is in phenomenal shape for the age. It is in really, really good shape. The only thing is, I haven't been able to test it. There's a little bit of a scuff right here. The only thing is, I haven't been able to test it because they didn't come with a power cable. So I got to buy a power cable. But as good of condition as this is in, I am absolutely confident that it's going to work. So when I got it, it was pretty dusty. It had been sitting in the shed, which is it's the case with most of these old systems when you find them out in the wild. That's another thing. I try to avoid buying online. It's not that I don't, but I really like finding my stuff out in the wild. And this came from a friend, Julie. Again, you're awesome. And this was the very first game system that I had when I was a kid, was the Atari 2600. And I can't remember if we had the black, I think they called this I don't know if it was officially called this, but it kind of got the nickname, the Darth Vader Black. Come from the era. Star Wars it was just reaching the market when this came out, and so when they came out with the all black one, I think that people just kind of called it the Darth Vader Black. I'm not sure if it was officially marketed that way. If you know, let me know. But we had an Atari 2600 when I was a kid, and the game that I didn't really. I mean, I played it a little bit, but I just love sitting there and watching my dad play these games. And one of the games that we had was Adventure. And this game, it opened my eyes up to you can go on an adventure in a video game. And it kind of started my love for RPGs. And I have played this game with my kids, and there's just something about this game, like going through this crazy maze that kind of makes very little sense unless you really know the game. And having this dragon that's just constantly pursuing you, and this stupid bat that will like steal your items and take them and drop them somewhere in the maze, and you have to go back and find it. I don't know. This was a cool game, and you had to like find items like keys, and there was like a bridge that you could get, and it was so you're a little square dot, and you grab the bridge, and the bridge would allow you to like walk over a wall or something, and so you had to get the bridge to go and get one of the keys or to get to a castle. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while. We played this. I played this game with my kids about 3 years ago on one of those those newer Atari systems that they have. But it's really cool to have a cartridge of Adventure. And I know it's not a super rare game, but you know, it's super hard to find just out in the wild, you know, unless you go to like a specialty retro game shop or you get it on eBay. It's about the only places that you usually find these old ones anymore, especially the system. These are getting rare. I never ever see these at yard sales and thrift stores, and I go to yard sales and thrift stores almost every weekend. So it's really cool to find that. It also came with Super Breakout, and there were 2 cartridges that have no labels on them, but the labels are right here. And so I've got to fix this system or find the cable so I can try them out. But it has Pac-Man. How cool is that? This was like the suckiest version of Pac-Man ever created. I don't know. I mean, that's probably not true, but it was not good. And it would flicker, and I mean they did their best with the limited hardware, but it did not play like it did in the arcade. So when you got this home and you're like, let's get some arcade action going on, no, it was definitely not the same game. And it came with Asteroids as well, and this label is a little tore up, so I got to find out which of the cartridges these labels go to, and the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to fix the system or find somebody with the system. And I don't know anybody with the Atari 2600, so that's pretty cool. And it also came with 2 controllers, standard Atari controllers, paddles, and some spinner paddles. This was used for games like Super Breakout. You spun this and you could control your paddle at the bottom, and it would catch the ball and bounce back up. One thing that's cool about this is that when you bought it, you got 2 for the price of 1. 2 controllers plug into 1 slot. Pretty cool. Anyways, those came with it as well. I want to talk about like when I got this, it was really dusty. It was kind of faded looking, and so I do a process where I will clean these off with like Clorox wipes and take like a flathead screwdriver, and you can kind of like you can get in there. You got to be very careful not to scratch it, and to wrap the cloth around it and to do it. But then I will use a like a car wax on them to give them like that newer look. And I you can see I left some of the wax in this groove here. You can't see it. You can't see it when I'm holding it, but on the camera, it's like a white line. It's crazy how different things look on the camera. But it it shined up really well, and it looks so much better in person than it does on the camera. The camera like enhances every flaw. But if you got an old system laying around and you want to like polish it up and make it look nice, then I will leave a link in the description to the exact kind of scratch remover polish stuff that I use to kind of rejuvenate my retro systems. So look in the description for that. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you found some value in this, and I know these aren't like the most popular videos I do, but they're so fun to do, and I just want to encourage you all to if you've been thinking about making a video game collection, just start. One of the most effective ways that I get games for my collection is by just simply telling friends and family that I collect video games. And that's exactly what happened here. And I was able to get a original 2600 that I've been wanting in my collection for a while. And I could have gone on eBay and found it, but that's not really my style. When I find these, I like to have like a story attached with the item so that, and it even brings that much more meaning to it. And the fact that it came from a friend and that they thought about me before they took this to the DI or whatever they were going to do with it. It's awesome. Very cool. Let me know in the comments, what are some cool stuff that you guys have found? And do you guys have like a really cool story behind a really cool item that you found? Let me know. And until next time, happy collecting. And as always, stay rad and stay retro.